And welcome back to Portugal, welcome back to Portimao, and we are getting everything set to go racing here around this roller coaster of a track. Changes in elevation aplenty here, as we've got quite a few overtaking zones into turns 1 and 3, then the long straight to turn 5, and then let's see if anybody's brave enough to do anything through the Getting ready to go racing, 5 of them up on that board, and they go out, and our drivers get going in earnest. The McLaren of Whammon up alongside Mr. Alt F4, and Whammon getting a much better start than his nearest rival. The two Aston Martins then nearly coming together in the first corner as Jonathan Chen barges his way into 4th position and hangs onto it at that. Whammon still side by side, taking the outside line around Mr. Alt F4, and the two go wheel to wheel into turn number 5. The Alfa Romeo driver on the inside bests the McLaren, but Whammon gets a brilliant corner exit as he gets the traction down and pulls ahead of his rival. Once again on the outside, he finds himself as the two race leaders run wheel to wheel, corner after corner. The McLaren driver nearly losing his car, nearly getting punted off the track by his rival, dropping down to 3rd, now to 4th.
Down in the mid-pack, Alex Great trying to make moves on a Desi, unable to do so. Stuck behind the medium compound tire driver, and Fruity Loop behind him also looking to make advances, was unable to do so as well. But Portimao.
Oh, we've got a spin from a Zay there inside of Duck Lovers for a brief second, unable to make that overtake just then. But now, side by side they go, both with the wing open, and Whammon, is he going to try to be braver on the brakes? He is, and he gets the inside line. Will he pull completely clear of his rival, though? He has, and that is Whammon into P3. Rear wing, Whammon now into 2nd position, now 3rd position, as he runs side by side with Wadapatowski into turn number 13, and just no room left by Wadapatowski for Whammon, but the McLaren driver takes the inside line of the next corner, and wow, what a battle there as the two Aston Martins now go side by side behind the McLaren. Duck Lovers filing into 3rd, and Jonathan Chen spinning off the track. Jonathan Chen has spun off the track in Gulp, turn number 15, his rival. But we've got to fight for the lead brewing as Mr. Alt F4 goes ultra defensive into the first corner. Duck Lovers takes the outside line, getting a much better exit. And Whammon once again diving the inside of turn 3. And is he going to get away with it? No, not this time around.
No, nobody did anything wrong. He just ran into the back of him. He wasn't expecting Duck to be so slow.
What is the strategy for the remainder of this race for Jonathan Chen? We see the leaders scrapping constantly, and they're losing heapfuls of time. And meanwhile, our favorite Alpine driver did get a chance to get his pit stop in early. What is your guys' plan to salvage this Grand Prix?
Well, when he spun, luckily enough, you know, we hadn't passed the pit line yet, so we were able to just go and swap tires.
So Wheaton, another driver out of contention now in the top running spots as Wadapatowski hits his teammate from behind. Wadapatowski taps Duck Lovers. Grabbing 2 of them have fallen out of the top 10 altogether. Duck Lovers now making a move down the inside of Mr. Alt F4, pushing the Alfa Romeo driver off the track. Mr. Alt F4 comes back at him though, but Duck Lovers makes that overtake work, and he is now in the lead of this race. And Wheaton, these past couple of laps looked a little bit like Mr. Alt F4 may have been the cork in the bottle of this one, so if Duck Lovers can break free from the Alfa Romeo driver, he can maybe set his own pace and try to pull away. That we will keep an eye out on now. Nevertheless, and maybe looking to play a bit of rear gunner for his teammate, he moves to the inside line, staying to the middle of the track. That is outer rim to the outside, and still Fruity Loop fights him. Fruity Loop, of course, is a main roster driver. Outer rim is a reserve, but outer rim does look like he has the tire advantage now on an ultra long stint for the opener. Maybe they're looking for a safety car, maybe something else, but once again, outer rim around the outside, Fruity Loop puts his nose in, but now the reserve Ferrari driver able to make a move on his teammate. Jaquan trying to victimize them, but unable to do so. Down, who is also on the same tire compound as outer rim. Side by side they go into turn 5. The Ferrari driver taking the inside line, squeezing the AlphaTauri all the way to the edge of the track, trying to hang on to this position, but so much traction for Jaquan in the AlphaTauri that he is able to easily make his way past on traction on corner exit into 5th position.
As Duck Lovers, actually, no, he came out of the pits. He didn't have a terrible exit. These two are still continuing to fight. Mr. Alta 4 does get ahead. As who's that who spins in the background? Was that Wadapatowski? No, it was Iron Hammer.
Iron Hammer, and that is Duck Lovers launching a move down the inside of Mr. Alt F4. Both cars losing their rear end on exit from turn number 5.
He's on board with Jaquan now. He's going to sneak past the Ferrari driver of Outer Rim, both of them on a set of medium compound tires that are nice and used. And it looks like Ferrari's going to fight him back. No, not on this occasion. Let's not forget about Wadapatowski and Genji. They did the undercut on their rivals of Mr. Alt F4 and Duck Lovers. They did come out ahead of them. Their medium compound tires might be a little bit more used as Duck Lovers does set fastest up the race. It looks like there's a lot of fighting up front.
That's right. Genji being given the absolute minimum of room by Wadapatowski as he overtakes him on the straight. And he does take that position from the Aston Martin driver, and critically, Mr. Alt F4 getting a chance to put his nose into this fight. Genji finds himself unexpectedly with the net race lead as it's nearly 3 wide immediately behind him. Mr. Alt F4 committing to the outside line at the very last moment and gets a phenomenal exit from turn number 5, and he takes that position as well as Duck Lovers pulls to the inside of Mr. Alt F4 into turn number 5. He's going to try to squeeze his rival. He knows how much traction Mr. Alt F4 gets on corner exit, and he does pull ahead of his rival. Discretion. Meanwhile, Mr. Alt F4 gaining rapidly on his rivals in front, both of them going very defensive, and is that Duck Lovers getting nearly caught inside of Genji's rear tire, and that forces him to lose a substantial amount of time, and that'll allow the Aston Martin driver to pull up alongside him now. Once again, they find themselves going side by side, and Mr. Alt F4 trying to squeeze his rival to the very edge of the track. He dives the corner. Duck Lovers is going to try to brave it around the outside. No room there. Practically take any tires through there and be okay. But critically on exit from these next couple of corners is where he might find himself having the greatest advantage. Pulling to the inside of Wadapatowski. Wadapatowski trying to squeeze him for all it's worth, but that is going to do him no good as a Desi has all the grip in the world.
He was previously right behind Mr. Alt F4 fighting P1 and P2. Next looks like they're going too wide into corner 1. He is going to sneak past him. No, Mr. Alt F4 fighting around the outside as we do have a safety car. Savage, look at that.
But we are getting back to racing here, and it looks like we have an interesting situation up in front as we have 2 lap cars then immediately in front of our drivers, and Genji getting a bit of a worse start compared to Duck Lovers. It's a complete chaos on the start-finish straight as Duck Lovers looks to the inside of Genji, unable to make that impression, and oh my goodness, as he stays and shouldn't trigger a safety car, to our knowledge at least. Duck Lovers closing in on Genji, and Desi having Wadapatowski dive is inside the 2 drivers touch! The 2 drivers touch, and Wadapatowski finds himself the losing drivers. He wouldn't want him to compromise another. Genji lining up to the back of Charles. Will Charles defend? No, he will not. He gives the McLaren driver the outside line. That he runs wide, however, Genji, and Charles Leclerc remaining close. Duck Lovers getting down on the inside of Charles. Charles spins, collides with a Desi Wheaton. He collides with a Desi on exit from turn number 3.
Yeah, I think Wadapatowski may have just overtaken him a little bit too soon, because now the McLaren driver's got DRS. Wadapatowski doing everything he could, leaving multiple times, and Wallman slamming into him. That was an interesting maneuver from the Aston Martin driver. The stewards might have to take a look at that.
We go on board with Duck Lovers, who is exiting the final corner of the Portimao circuit on the final lap of the race, and he will come across the line to take victory in a tumultuous race that saw so many drivers fall victim to collisions, spins, and other errors. Well deserved for Outer Rim, and I'd say he did the Ferrari team a fair substitution as Duck Lovers celebrates on top of the podium. Genji there as well, and Desi, of course, will be seething at that collision that really was not his fault in the least.